Hi everyone. Boy, has this been a day. I don't know if any of you have ever had that new virus. It's not really a virus as much as it's an not even adware. It's just malicious malware, I guess they call it, where your screen gets frozen and you get this message saying that you've been attacked by a virus and to call this number. It looked like it came from Microsoft, but I've been there before, so I didn't call that number. And as it turns out, it's one of those scams where people try to get your information, your credit, because what they'll do is they tell you, they will, once they get your information on your computer, then they will freeze your computer and then charge you a ransom to get your computer back. And I've been hearing about it for about a year now, and it finally hit me today, and I've got a scan running on my computer now. It's been running for a couple hours, but that's okay. If it takes all day, let it take all day. I'm having it scan everything. But I was able to get on my phone and go to a website. Actually, I went to the Microsoft website, and they have got a malware detecting remover program of their own, and it was just updated. And they recommended that. So that's what's running now. So, between my live feed on my webcam not working this morning, and then this, I thought maybe, is there some jinx when I try to do a Facebook party? I only seem to have these problems when I'm trying to do something. But anyway, I'm going to show you some different ways of making backgrounds. I know with me, you can stamp and you can do all kinds of things, but if you don't have the right background, and it makes it hard. So, and a lot of times, well, actually, before I got into Fun Stamper's Journey, and even when I first got into Fun Stamper's Journey, I was buying printed paper and trying to use that as backgrounds, and I have found that I like my own backgrounds better. So I'm going to show you several different methods. I'm going to start with one that's my daughter's dog behind me that you see, that's Pink. She's the one that breathes heavy, but she's got to be right beside me when I'm in here. I'm going to use one that requires water because I've got one of these plastic shoe boxes with water in it. And I want to go ahead and use it and then get it out of my way because I don't have room for it otherwise. So I'm going to do that first. I'm going to have to flip my phone around. So please close your eyes if you get dizzy when that happens. But I'm going to flip it around so you can see my work surface, and let's show you some things. Let's see, there it is. There's my, see Zippy? He's our little mascot. But this is my work surface, and hopefully that will stay there. Just give this a push to make certain. Now, and please be aware that I'm not going to be able to see any of your comments while I'm doing this because the phone is pointed away from me now and I can't see it. But the first thing I want to do is take some of our silks. Now, I have done this before, and maybe I'll do another one with those. Maybe Turbo Teal and Electric Lime. But I'm going to use our Color Splash sheets for this since they're going in water. These are our Color Splash sheets. And it's watercolor paper. It's 140-pound cold press watercolor paper. And it just holds the water really well. It comes in a pack of 20 sheets, and they're A2 size. So if you use them to cover your whole card, you don't even need to cut them down. But I just have just a little bit of water in here. You can see it's not much, just enough to cover the bottom. Excuse me while I scoot up a little bit. And I'm going to take some of our silks. And I love our silks. We use a lot of them for sparkle and accents and for splashes, but they're good for other things too. So I'm going to take this. This is the Cranberry Bliss. And see, it's got a little brush like nail polish. And instead of spattering the card, I'm going to spatter the water. Can you see how that did? And I was going to use bubble gum, which is lighter, but I was afraid it wouldn't have enough contrast. So I'm going to use some orange. This is Citrus Cooler. And let's see how the red and the orange go together. And you just do the same thing. Just see, you can... Okay. And then, of course, I didn't bring my little skewer over here. I ought to keep some over here, but I don't use them that much. I'm just going to run this through just to not mix. You don't want to mix this, but at least get it to where it is marbled a little bit. And then all you do is take one of your color splash sheets and just, let me do it this way, just drop it in there. And then you pick it up. It missed a spot. How's that for a background? Isn't that gorgeous? Of course, you would set this aside to dry. And there's still plenty of silk in here, so I'm going to do it a second time. And it's going to look entirely different because all of this has moved. Let me try that right there. Just make sure it's all going to be... Look at that one. Isn't that pretty? But if you make a bunch of different backgrounds, then when you're ready to stamp, you can go through what you've got and use, you know, what you've already done. And let me try this again. Still going to put it over here. I just see a little bit more color over there. And see, I missed a spot there. So all I'm going to do is find color somewhere else and lay it back down again. And it filled it in. Isn't that pretty? That's more pastel. So I went from, let's see, that's the second one, I believe. This is the first one. And you see it's bowed because it's wet, but it'll straighten out once it dries. But that's the first one. This was the second one, which was a little bit lighter. And then this is the third one, which is a lot lighter. And I could probably get another one, but I'm not going to worry with that right now. But that's one way, and you can mix all kinds of colors. I've got some light, the electric, let me go ahead and try that. I'll just do one. The Turbo Teal. And the silks have sparkle in the bottom, but you don't need to mix that up when you're doing this. All you need is the color. You don't need the sparkle. And this may even pick up a little bit of the red and the orange. And same thing with the Electric Lime. Get my trusty brush handle. I use that for a lot of things. And just run it through so that it moves these away from being a circle. And I've got my backgrounds laying on my paper towel. And let's just see how this looks. And I'm going to go right here. Ooh, look at that. It picked up some of the pink and the green and the yellow and the blue. That's cool. I wish I had a place to put all this stuff. I should have set up a table somewhere. I'm going to get another one of those because I think that's really awesome. And this time I'll go over here, see what I can pick up over here. That's a little bit lighter, but I missed a spot. So I need to go in and get something on that spot. There we go. This one is really pale. But now that this is pale, I think I'm going to take this one, which is also pale, the third one that I did in the pinks, and see if I can pick up some more color. And yet it being the third dip, I got just a little bit through here. I think that's about all we're going to get. But that's one way of doing backgrounds. You can get our silks and dab them in some water. Oh, let me get that out of the way. I just hope the dog doesn't want to drink it. But that's one way of doing backgrounds. Now I'm going to get away from the water. And actually this was in our on our blog today. And Richard used lemon drop and candy apple, and I will post the blog after I finish this. And we use our Fusion blender. This is a blender that we use. Our inks are not water-based. It has a Fusion base, the ink base, and this Fusion blender. Let's see. It says add blending solution to your blending brush and pick up color and apply to your stamped images. Well, that's what you would do if you're trying to color. You can color with your stamp pads. You can just get a little blending brush like this, one of these water brushes, and use those to blend if you're coloring. But I'm not coloring today. I'm doing backgrounds. So I'm just going to put like 2 drops. Oh, before I start, I know you can't see it. This is one of those plastic sheets that come on your stamp sets. And I always pull them off and mount the stamp sets on the back of the plastic card that is on the front. So I have all these left over, and they are amazing to work with. So let me put 2 drops. Whoops, I got 3. I hope that's not too much. And then I'm going to get our brayer. And I'm going to ink up the brayer with our lemon drop. And I'm going to run it through. You can see where the 3 drops of the Fusion blender was. I'm going to run it through here. Get it all blended, and then I'm going to take it and roll it on our paper. I didn't get my whole brayer covered, so let's do it this way. Next, I probably should have rolled it from the narrow end. There, how's that? Okay, now I'm going to clean this off. Get a baby wipe. And clean this off. This is the best brayer. I use this with the gel plate too, and I'll do that later, maybe Thursday. I'll have more time on Thursday to do that. But anyway, I've got that cleaned off, and I'm going to clean off my workable sheet, as Richard calls it. I don't know it's all on here. Okay, I'm going to flip it over, and I'm going to use the candy apple in the same way. I'm going to put a couple of drops of my Fusion blender. I always get one more than I try to get. I was trying to get 3 and I ended up with 4. And then ink up your brayer. I'm going to try to ink up the whole brayer this time. And this is candy apple. First color was lemon drop. And then I'm going to try to get everything, get that Fusion blender blended in. and then roll it across your card. And look at that. Doesn't that make an interesting background? You can try adding a little more in places you want to add it. But I think that's really neat. Let's do it with 2 other colors. Get another baby wipe. I'm going to probably empty my baby wipe container today. But I have a package in a drawer somewhere. Never without my baby wipes. And just get that cleaned off. Clean this off. This didn't dry as quickly as the lemon drop, so I'll be able to use this side again. All right, let's try 2 other colors. Let's try Beach Ball and Watermelon Fusion. And see what happens with those. Just make sure my brayer is dry. So let's get my Fusion blender. I think what I'm going to do is kind of try to make a little streak instead of the drops. See if that helps a little bit. And I think I will go over it with the Watermelon Fusion first. Don't know why. There's no method to my madness. Just ink up your brayer with your Watermelon Fusion and run it across here and get all of that blender mixed in with it. I don't think my brayer is turning. So let's see what happens with this one. Ooh, that's kind of neat. I keep hitting my other colors. I've got ink all over them. But that's pretty, isn't it? That's the Watermelon Fusion. And I'm not even going to clean this off this time. I'm just going to roll it dry. I'm running out of space here. I've told you my workspace is very limited and it's really a challenge sometimes. Okay, so that's the Watermelon Fusion. And I'm going to put some more blender on here. I'm just going to do it this way. I don't know if more is better or less. I guess I will find out. And I'm going to do the beach ball. I'm trying to hold this in my hand. Maybe I can judge what's going on a little bit better. And roll it on my pad here. My workable sheet. And then, ooh, didn't that create a pretty purple? Shouldn't have gone over it a second time. It kind of covered up everything, but look at that. Isn't that pretty? So you can see this is a different way that you can make backgrounds. Now this time I am going to take a minute just to make sure that this gets cleaned off because I don't want the ink to dry on my brayer. So let me just make sure I get it cleaned off. And I'm just going to put this away, well not away, I'm going to put it aside. And I don't believe I'm going to use the workable sheet anymore. I'll just throw this one away because I get new ones on every stamp set and goodness knows I have enough. So I hope this doesn't distract you. I can always put a new sheet down there, but I will just make another mess. Whoops, sorry about that. It was only my Amaze machine. Let me wipe this off of here. maybe one day I'll do different coloring methods, because there's a lot of different ways you can color with Fun Stampers Journey products, and I think I will move this paper. It may not be distracting for you, but it is for me. Okay. So let me, what did I do with my paper? I only used 2. Does that, I know I had more than those out. What did I do with my paper? I'll just have to get some more. This is just your whipped cream cardstock. Oh, there it is. I put it up there to get it out of the way. But this is whipped cream cardstock. Now another thing that we can do, and I'm going to use the same colors just so you can see how the colors work in different ways. And I'm going to use our dauber. And let's see if any of these have. This one, the candy apple, has its own little dauber, but the watermelon splash doesn't. So this is the dauber, and it comes with some sponges, but then you get a refill pack that has 10 sponges in it. And of course I have to have one for every color because I use every color. But I'm going to take the watermelon fusion, and I'm going to take my dauber. I'm going to ink up my dauber. And I'm going to come in from the end and just kind of go in circles. Add some color and just kind of ombre it a little bit. Alright, so that's the watermelon fusion. I'll have to get a little Velcro thing to put on the bottom so I can attach my dauber. And then I will, actually I'm not going to use candy apple, I'm going to use the beach ball. This one doesn't have a dauber either, so I will have to make another one for that. So I'm going to use the beach ball, and I'll come in from the other side. And just start coming in and blend, and this will make a purple in the middle. I want a little bit richer blue down here. The thing about doing this, if you do this with a green, with a blue and a green, you'd have sky and then grass, but this one to me looks like sky and, oh, I don't know, you could put any kind of background on that. You could use it as an underwater theme. You could use it just as a background for whatever. I just love that. I think that's really pretty. So that's using those colors. I figured if I showed you different ways using the same colors, you can see all the different effects that you can get. So let's do the same thing with the candy apple and the lemon drop. And both of those have daubers. I have a little Velcro piece I put on the bottom, and I've got a pack of them over here. I just need to get them out. But I always start with your lightest color. So I'm going to start with the lemon drop. And just come in from the edge. And go as far as you want to go. If you want to, I think I'll take it a little bit further. But you kind of get a little bit lighter as you go along. This is going to be more like a sunset if I use the watermelon fusion, but let's see what happens with the candy apple. I have learned so much since joining this company, because between Richard and our awesome coaches, we've got new projects all the time. And our coaches are always so willing to help, you know, the other coaches. It's just awesome. This didn't get quite as orange as I had hoped, but it did a little bit. Just blend it in. Let me cover up this blotchiness here a little bit. But there's another one, the same colors. Now this is the same as this. The same colors, just a different method. So, you know, you can do so much with your colors. Let me find where I put the blues. I put them everywhere. See, those are the ones I rolled. Where are the ones I dipped? I only could find the light one. It's stuck on something somewhere around here to dry. I just ran out of room. But anyway, I really love playing with the inks. And there's another way that you can play with the ink. You can color with your inks, and I will show you that on a different video. So now, what is another way we can do a background? How about if let's use some pan pastels. Now, I don't know if you've ever used pan pastels or not. Actually, I've used them for several years on polymer clay, and then had no idea I would turn around and come here and come to Fun Stamper's Journey and find another way to use them. But this is the Confectionery Days set, plus the silver and the gold. I did add that in there. And I don't believe I have the same colors that we have out here. Not in this set. There's Lemon Drop and Beach Ball. Candy Apple. But not Watermelon Fusion. Where's Watermelon Fusion? I don't have the Watermelon Fusion, so we're going to have to play. Alright, let me use the other set then. Even though these are my favorite colors. I didn't think I'd like them because they were so light. But I like them because they are light. This is our Party Pop set. So since we've used the blue and the, you know, all these colors together, I'm going to continue to use these colors. I'm going to go ahead and use sponges. You can use your daubers. But my daubers are wet with ink, so I don't want to use those. If they were dry, I would go ahead and use it. But I'm going to just touch. Let's see, what did I use? Beach Ball. Well, let me do the Lemon Drop and the Candy Apple. All you do with the pan pastels is just touch your sponge. You don't have to rub it. Just touch. And it gets on your sponge. And then same thing as you did with the inks, except it just gives you a different look. But there's the Lemon Drop. Now all I'm going to do is just rub this on a paper towel, and it still looks yellow, but it will not transfer onto the red. So this is the Candy Apple. And these are blendable too. See here, this is the, well, I've been moving things around. I can't find anything. Oh, I know where my other pictures were. They were on my Amaze machine, so they're on the floor. Because I dropped my Amaze machine on the floor. Okay. Now those are the ones I rolled. What did I do? Oh, here it is. This is with the inks, and if you feel it, it's a little bit damp. This is with the pan pastels. Now you see on here where it's got some streaks, and you may not want those on there. If you just get a white eraser, pan pastels are erasable, but it'll erase it all the way down to the white. So all you need to do is go back into your lemon drop and come back up, and you'll cover up those places where you scratched it. How's that? So see, it's the same but a little bit softer. But let me show you a really cool thing with your pan pastels. And I'm going to use the other set just because I think this shows up really well with your paler colors. Get all of my wet backgrounds away. But I'm going to use these colors. We also have the sponges. You get one of these with each set of pan pastels, as well as a handle and some little sponges so that you can do detail work. Again, that's under the coloring, so I will show you that in the coloring. But we also have our sponges, and they work really well with our ink pads, but I found they work well with the pan pastels too. But I have cut these up into little wedges. See my wedges? And I just use a wedge. So one of these sponges goes a long ways. So those are also available. So let me get out. I had to look to see when I had the silver and the gold. I had little daubers for. So what I'm going to do first, before I do this, is I'm going to take a background sheet. Let me put my one I'm not using there, and I didn't get any backgrounds out. Let me see. Let me find a background stamp real quick. I don't know how this will work, and since I don't know, I think I'll try it. Now see, this is one I've never used, and see, it's on one of these workable sheets. I can take this off, and I can use this. And I have a little folder over here where I put all these. And then when I'm ready to store this, I store it on the back of this because it sticks to this just like it does to the clear sheet. And I think I'm going to leave it on here just to keep it flat. These are our storage pouches. I love those. And I'm going to take clear embossing ink. And I'm just going to stamp this up with the clear embossing ink. This is really cool. And I hope this shows up. This is such a small little print. But we will see. I'm going to just lay my card front on top, put a piece of paper over it, and just press it to make sure it's covered all over. And pull it up. And now I'm going to take, oh, what color have we not played with? How about the pretty amethyst? And this is the side with the clear embossing ink, and look what happens when you rub it with the pan pastels. Can you see that? And this one turned out great. See how it just picks up the color where your clear embossing ink is? Think of the possibilities with this. Isn't that pretty? I could even have gone in and used a two-tone effect like I did with these. I could have done part in purple and part in yellow, but look at that. Can you see how, and that is, to me, is just the coolest thing. And it gets all the little lines and everything from your stamp. Let me find another one. I could do this all day. I love working with backgrounds. I'm trying to think of where my backgrounds are. Trying to be organized. I should have done this before I got on. Well, I'll tell you what, right. Instead of that, let's do this. This is a Bloom Benefit. It's one that I really love. And I'm going to take out, this is the decorative doily. Let's see, this was May, June, July, August. This ought to be available now for sale. We're stopping this program, but right now it still works on the ones before July. This was the May Bloom Benefit. So after 3 months, it's available. So May, June, July, August. So this is the stamp set that's becoming available now. And I'm going to get a couple of these doilies. Okay, that's all I'm going to do is just those. Let me get another piece of cardstock. I love having fun with these things. And the clear pigment ink. I hope you can see. I can't see. Let me stand up and see. I guess you can still see. But I'm going to ink this one up and stamp it here. Wish I had a bigger space. I'm going to have this one coming off this corner. And I think I'll have this coming off here. Of course, I can't see a thing because it's clear. Okay. So this one, I'm going to put right there. Whoops. If I can hold on to it. Just kind of fill in some spaces. There needs filled in. I'll do that. And let's see what this looks like. This one, since I've used different types of stamps, this isn't a background stamp. It's going to be interesting to see how this looks. So we used the purple. Let's use... Actually, I haven't used this one yet. This is one of the new colors. This is Lemongrass that came out starting today. No, it came out in the new catalog, which was last month. So I'm going to try the Lemongrass and just see what this looks like. Look at that. This is one of my favorite things to do with pan pastels, is to create backgrounds with clear embossing ink. But look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And what a background that would be. But pan pastels are the best. I love them. Okay. So let's see. Did I have anything else I wanted to try? I think... Oh, yes, I do. One more thing. Our liquid colors. Those are new this year. They came out in the big catalog last month. Let me put this away just to get it, give me some more space. I have a little basket in there that holds all of my sponges. And I'm going to get another, well, I'll just pull out that workable sheet I just put back in there. And I'm going to take some liquid color. I've got Lemon Drop and Limeade Splash. This one's so clean I can't see where it ends. There it is. So I'm just going to put just a few drops around this paper with this acrylic sheet and the Limeade Splash. Now, because these are watercolors, water-based, I'm going to take my spritzer and I'm going to just spritz them with some water. See what happens to them? Now you can use, I'm just going to use whipped cream cardstock. You can use the watercolor paper. Actually, I think I'm going to put a stencil on it first. Let me do, oh, I want to try this one. I haven't tried this one yet. This is the Nature Collage. I love the stencil. And I'll use it again when I show the gel press. But I think I'm going to lay this down on here and let it squish. And I'm going to lay my cardstock on here this way. And I may even use my brayer just to make sure that I get all the pieces. You can use your fingers. Let's see what we got. Well, that's kind of weird looking. But now I'm going to pull this up. I have two surfaces now that I can use. And I think I'm going to go right here on this paper. I'm going to put the same piece in again. See what we get this time. And if I want more, I will take the ink off of the back of the stencil. Oh, that's kind of cool, isn't it? I hate to mess it up with the ink on the stencil, but I hate to waste that ink too. I like that. That is so cool. Let's see. Of course, no two will ever be alike. I was going to say, I can always do another one, but they will never turn out the same. There. How's that for a background? And you can do this in, we've got 12 colors of liquid colors. They're 1 ounce bottles. And they're just awesome. But there you go. There's another background. So let me switch the camera back around. First of all, let me lay out some of these things that I've got drying. Where'd I put them? Never mind, because I don't know. I tell you, when you have limited space, you would think you could find everything, but you can't. So I'm going to go ahead and switch the camera back around. Hello. And there you go. So I will be back. Tomorrow is kind of a busy day for me, but if I'm able to come back tomorrow with another demo, I will. Definitely on Thursday. And, of course, I'll probably do one on Friday. So, remember, we did have a prize for the person that placed the first order. And Lisa Rush won that prize. She placed an order bright and early this morning. She needed some ink pads, and she took advantage of the 20% off on all of our ink pads. I say all. It's all of the basic colors, which there's like 51 colors you can choose from, but our clear embossing ink, the gold, and the silver are not included. But the colors, all the colors are. But 20% off, so stock up now. That's what I plan on doing. I'm missing about 10, so I think I'm going to be ordering the 10 because I get my discount on top of the 20%, so that'll be really a good price for me. So, anyway, Lisa is one of my Bloombox subscribers. She subscribes to the Bloombox, and I put the new picture up this morning of this month's Bloombox. It's the header of this page, and it's sort of a retro type thing. So it looks like comic strips with the voice bubble, you know, and there's a lot you can do with that. I can't wait to get started with that. But if you order the Bloombox, if you subscribe this month, that's the Bloombox you get. And the subscription is a 6-month subscription. And it would cost at the first of every month, you're charged $24.95 plus shipping and tax. And so I can't tell you what it is because depending on what your taxes are, it changes depending on where you live. But I did bring some water this time. You can tell I don't talk much when I'm here by myself all day. But it's a 6-month commitment when you sign up for it for $24.95 a month. But this month they started last month they started a brand new option where instead of subscribing, you can get the Bloomboxes one at a time. The only thing is you take a chance on whether there's going to be any available because, of course, all of our subscribers get theirs first. And they only order a limited amount because they also decided starting in June that they're no longer going to be releasing the Bloom Benefit stamps to be sold publicly. So if you liked the if you liked this stamp, be sure and get it because it's going to be the last one that goes public. If you don't, if you want to get it, you need to get it now. And but after that, like starting in June, July. Starting in July, it's no longer being sold. This month change is getting to me. It's already August. But starting the 1st of July, they're no longer being sold. So the only way you can get it is through a Bloombox. Now, the one-time purchase of the Bloombox is $29.95. And you would go ahead and order that. It's in there. If you go in and do Bloombox, you'll get all the different options, either to subscribe for 6 months or the one time. And but you take a chance. It's only guaranteed until the 15th of the month. After the 15th, they can't guarantee that you will get yours. Because when they run out, because they didn't order extras. They don't need extra stuff sitting in the warehouse now that they're not going to be selling them publicly. So the Bloombox has changed, and it's a good change. I like it. I still subscribe, even though I'm a coach, just because, first off, I get my discount on the Bloombox, too. But, like, this set really isn't something that I would go out and buy. But I have had 2 other stamp sets that were like that I just didn't think I would like. But then when I got them and did the 4 cards that came in the Bloombox, by the time I finished, I was in love with them. Plus, Richard always teaches some technique in every Bloombox instruction book. So, I like to do it if for nothing else, just the technique that he teaches. It's like having your own little private class and then stuff to practice on. So, anyway, Lisa decided, because she's a Bloombox subscriber, she already gets a free catalog from me. I'll send them to all of my Bloombox subscribers. And when the big catalog comes out, I send out the big catalog. So, that's another advantage of subscribing is you get all the free catalogs. And every time a mini comes out, I mailed hers, a couple of days ago. She might even have it by now. So she opted to get a card. So that means that the next person, number 2, that places an order will get the free holiday mini catalog. So, take advantage of that. It's interesting. It's nice to have. It's good until the end of December. So you've got almost a half a year to look at the holiday things and to subscribe. Not subscribe, but, to get what you want spread it out month by month so you don't have to do it all at one time. So I really like that idea. So, I hope you enjoyed this demo. I will, like I said, do another one. Thursday, I will probably do the the gel plate. Gel press. I keep wanting to call it a jelly plate, but it's a gel press. Different company. But I will show, because it takes up a lot of room. I'll be in my kitchen on the kitchen table. It makes it much easier. And it takes a long time. It's not something that you can sit down and do in 5 minutes. Of course, Richard does, so I guess I could. But we will do that on Thursday. And if there's something, I asked in the video this morning and I didn't get any responses. So, I'm sorry, I just got a comment and I just wanted to look. If there's anything you want to see demonstrated, if I have it, I will be happy to demonstrate it for you. So please, and don't leave it as a comment under this video, because I may not see that. Post it as a new comment on the page. Just, say, I would like to see you demo, what can I say? Pan pastels. Or I would like to see you demo how to use silks, or I would like to see you demo, and that's what I was going to do, the coloring methods. I might try to do that either tomorrow or Friday. Those are busier days, and it doesn't take as long. So anyway, if I don't hear anything from you, you're just going to be stuck with whatever I choose to do. So I appreciate you watching. I appreciate those of you that couldn't watch this live, that you're watching it as a playback. I appreciate everybody and hope you have fun this week with this party. Invite your friends. That's one of the blocks on the bingo game, that you invite 3 friends, I believe it is. But any of your friends that join the party and they make a purchase, let me know and I'll have something special for you too. So have a great day. I'll be leaving comments on the page the rest of the day until you see my good night picture pop up. That's when it'll be no more comments from me. I'll be getting ready for bed. So have a great day. Talk to you later. Bye-bye.